Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey y'all, hey, it's me, Tamara. Hey, so welcome back. I feel like, why does it, okay, I gotta do it like this, sorry. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. For my new folks, new episodes drop every Thursday. My day ones, thank you so much for continuing to rock with me. I appreciate your support and just y'all staying on this journey with me. The tweets at me, the DMs, texts, what else? IG, Facebook Messenger, whatever ways y'all be letting me know you appreciate the content. I definitely appreciate it. So follow me on social media. If you're watching, you can see that my social media handles are at the bottom of the screen, both for IG and Twitter. Then if you're listening, go to my website, the episode notes go to my website, which is in the episode notes, and the links to all that is on there. By the time you listen to this, okay, you feel me? I will have just had my first annual, because I'm going to do this probably every year, karaoke battle concert or whatever the heck I called it. I just have my live by the time you watch or are listening to this. And here's the thing about lives, and I'll remind y'all going forward. I decided that I want my lives to be more like an exclusive experience that I want you to watch, because a lot of times the facial expressions and all that stuff or comments, whatever's going on the screen, I just feel like it's a better experience if you just watch it and I can just talk to the people that are there and not have to read on the screen to y'all what so-and-so said to keep y'all in the loop. Nah, you should be on the live, you know what I'm saying? Or you could, I don't know, I might have it as a YouTube upload, so I guess you could check by the time this episode drops, but I'm not going to be uploading audio for that anymore. So just a little change in things just to kind of, because I said so, really. And I mean, it just is what it is. Okay, so enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into this show. You see my, I guess they're like my co-hosts. I don't know. Like, they're regulars, and we got a lot of stuff coming up for y'all. So you're going to see them again. If you are new, then you have no idea who the hell they are. So I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourselves. Whoever, whatever.
You go first, babe.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. At Baylor the Great on all social media platforms. BTG for president. Open roll with BTG. I am Baylorism at its finest.
Yep. I just listened to that episode today too. That's funny. All right, go ahead, Cedric.
And I am Cedric. I at CLW51 on pretty much all my handles as well too. Yeah, except for my actual my photography IG. That's the only one that's a little bit different. That's actually just says photography.
And I put all the, I think that's the IG I put in the episode notes, and then your Twitter. So I'll have all that. If you're not new, you've heard them on the Power episodes. And if you're not a Power fan, well, first of all, shame on you, because like that is the show. Second of all, not to be about Power at all, but real quick, I am convinced Courtney and them is the GOATs, because y'all just don't understand how much I wanted Tariq to die. You hear me? Die. The boy just turned 18 on the show, and I wanted him to die like when he was 14 or 15 because of his foolishness. And now I'm rooting for him. So like, they are the GOATs. But Power's on a break, and we actually got some requests to keep it going. You know, I got great feedback from y'all. So what we decided to do in the meanwhile is what you see today is movie reviews. And so we are not by any means saying that we are hey, what was them dudes' names? Ebert, Cisco and Ebert or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't saying we them, but we watch a movie. We might be though. And if you want to get at us for that, the Movieteers, you know what I'm saying? Email me. That's in the episode notes as well. But we are gonna do reviews. We have pretty good chemistry. I mean, obviously, Cedric is my little brother, in case you were unaware. So, you know, but we have really good chemistry, really good conversation, and we all have unique perspectives and the way we view things, which just makes for a great conversation. So, we're going to start picking apart some movies, starting today with the movie Soul. But before we get into that, I got to ask y'all a question real quick. I'm trying to see if we got to revoke y'all black card, and we're going to see if the listeners agree with y'all. And then if they don't, tweet at me and let me know. So for the culture in the category of music, you feel me? Which song is the ultimate twerk anthem? Okay.
Oh, I got the answer.
Hold on. You gotta pick it out of these four choices that they already have pre-decided are among the rankings. So we have Whistle While You Twerk. Do. Okay. We have Doo-Doo Brown. Doo-Doo Brown. Okay. We have Cotton Candy, Sweet as Gold. Let Me See You, Tootsie Roll.
Definitely not the Tootsie Roll.
And then we have from the 99 and the 2000. Got that ass up. So out of those four songs, which do you think is the ultimate twerk anthem?
Act that ass up.
And I'm pretty sure you won't have any disagreements. However, if you disagree with Baylor or Cedric, then I
actually do disagree.
Oh. What was your song?
I would actually say it's a solid tie between Back That Ass Up and Doo-Doo Brown, because that's where it all came from. Uncle Luke started first.
Okay, so
maybe I'm a little too young for that one.
Maybe.
Without Uncle Luke, we don't get. I'm not saying we don't get Cash Money. We definitely don't get that track though.
All right, well, I'm not going to weigh in on this. What I'm going to do is my listeners, if you agree with Baylor or disagree, because I know it's somebody out there, one of y'all, Jay, do you agree with Baylor or whoever else? Tweet at me, tweet at them when you tweet the episode, whatever, or I'll relay the message, whatever. Just
now, I will say that Back That Ass Up might be a little bit more popular across the generations. But if we talking about Hall of Fame OG, I mean, Luke is up there.
So as I'm looking at the question, it just says the ultimate twerk anthem. So it doesn't add all these disclaimers that you're adding to, you know what I'm saying?
It might be Back That Ass Up, man.
It gotta be.
All right. Well, we'll see what the listeners say. So as I said, we're gonna do the movie review of the Soul movie. So that's a new animated Pixar Disney movie with Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey, and I didn't realize Felicia Rashad was in there until I looked at the cast or whatever online. So shout out to Jay for this suggestion. We couldn't really decide what we wanted to do, so I decided to kind of leave it up to the listeners. So Jay chose this movie. Shout out to you. I probably wouldn't have watched it, but I'm actually really glad I did, and we'll get into that later. But if you have a movie that you want us to review next month, because we're going to be doing this monthly until power comes back, unless there's something else that we decide to do instead or whatever, but we're going to have monthly shows with the three of us. For right now, we've agreed upon reviewing movies. So tweet at me, email me, DM me, whatever. Let me know if you have a suggestion, and then I'll get a poll popping and see what we get next month. And then if we choose your movie, I'll go ahead and give you a shout out. So the Soul movie, it's going to be all kinds of spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, you might want to skip this episode because I'm just going to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So just to give you a little background information on the movie from what I remember, because I literally just watched it yesterday. Basically there's this man that is he's a middle school teacher aspiring to be a jazz player, and he's literally wanted to do that not all his life but most of his life, and he plays the piano, and then it's like he finally gets what he's been chasing after and gets to play with the jazz player that he's been wanting to play with forever. Literally leaves the interview after he just got hired for the gig on the phone, bragging to whoever, not paying attention to where he's walking. So that was dumb. And this dude falls into, I'm guessing, the sewer and dies. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the whole rest
Very
of the
tragic.
movie is kind of like afterlife or whatever. So can I just say that, first of all, when he said I would die a happy man if I get this gig or if I get to play with her, I kind of knew something was going to happen after that. It's like he spoke it over himself. But when he died, I literally paused the movie, got up, and walked away for a minute because I was so mad that this man finally got what he was chasing after, and he died. And I didn't really know the movie was about an actual soul, like these niggas is dead in the great beyond or whatever they called it. I didn't know it was that. So that part had me a little salty. You know what I'm saying? That part right there. So, because we're not professional movie reviewers, I don't have a specific format for how we're going to talk about this. We just going to talk about it, and, you know, we do what we do. It'll be fine. So, fellas, just what were your did you like the movie? I guess we'll just kind of start broad and.
I thought it was an excellent movie. A lot of people had, there were some people that had their complaints about it. But then again, like everybody received the movie in a different way. I just take it as it is. Like, I got the message. The message was loud and clear. It was a lot of different messages, but there's not really a complaint. But I would say the one thing, just being greedy or selfish, the only one thing that I wanted to see, I wanted to know who 22 was. That was it.
Okay, yeah. I if I had a complaint, since you mentioned that, and we kind of said this before we started recording, I did not know, even though I knew that was Jamie Foxx, I did not recognize that, and I don't know why. It just didn't sound like him. And then it's like Felicia Rashad, I don't know who she would have been in the movie. I'm guessing the mom, because she always playing somebody mama, but I didn't actually like look up the cast. So I felt like the voices were like kind of, I don't know. To me, it didn't sound like Jamie Foxx. I don't know if it did to y'all, but yeah, that would be my only complaint if I had a complaint. But other than that, yeah, kind of like you said, the message was loud and clear, and there were so many messages leading up to the big message, like all throughout the movie. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I liked it.
I like the message. I like the message a lot. I think almost to critique the message is kind of doing it like kind of almost like saying that you almost didn't almost get the message almost in a way. Just because I feel like the message is really just kind of about just living life and just not really taking stuff too like seriously. I mean, I feel like sometimes people can get caught up in a lot of different things and a lot of different aspects, whether it's just thinking about movies, maybe it's a little bit too hard, or just maybe thinking about maybe podcast or something like that when you're not really thinking about life in general and just like actually just really trying to live and just trying to enjoy it or just enjoy the movie, maybe just enjoy the colors of the movie or anything like that. So I really did like the movie. I liked the ending. It actually did hit a lot of key parts. I really did like especially when he sat down at the end and played the piano and he couldn't really get anything out of it. And then he actually had to take the stuff out of his pocket that 22 actually had throughout the day. And that really kind of gave him his moment. That really just kind of, that was nice. I liked it. I thought it was good meanings.
I thought it was really dope how they had things like being in a zone, for example, so animated, or somebody, a lost soul, so animated, so that, and then like broke it down and explained that, you know, your spark isn't your purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that brings you joy. Like, I love podcasting, but I wouldn't even say podcasting. I would say just creating, because if anybody's paying attention, they can see that in all kinds of different ways I'm trying to be creative, be it cover art, be it blogs, be it whatever, be it I don't know, but I'm always trying to be creative. So that's my spark. But it's kind of like, I love that, like I said, how animated being in the zone was, because it's kind of like, I feel like it gave a good imagery of when people get super passionate, or on the flip side, when people feel like they have no purpose, like how they look on the inside, even though on the outside we might not be able to see that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that really did good on highlighting what's inside is more important or whatever than external things. I thought the animation was, I don't know if it's, I haven't watched a cartoon movie in a minute or whatever, like, not, I can't think of a new one that I've watched recently, but the animation was like so dope. Like, it was really good animation.
Almost looked real in some parts.
Yeah, it did. Like, in, you know, I was on my level or whatever when I was watching it, but so, you know, that might have added to, but it did look very real at some part. So shout out to them for that. I think one of the things I resonated most with, and Cedric, you kind of touched on that, is the whole idea of being so focused on goals that you like chasing, oh, I can't wait till I get there. I can't wait till I get that. And I love that when he got that, you know what I'm saying? So he gained success. I love that he was like, okay, now what? And she's like, we come back tomorrow and we do it again. And it's kind of like, for like, if there are podcasters listening, or even like newer podcasts, or I look at which I'm actually gonna have him on soon. But Cedric, you know how Devon is like into music now and like creating songs like crazy. Those of y'all who don't know or whatever, that's my oldest. So my oldest is 21, recently just kind of started releasing songs and doing all this stuff. And you know, he'll send me screenshots of this or send me his songs, and I've listened to them and stuff. And I try to really, though, be supportive, but also remind him that it's a creative outlet that you need, obviously, but not get caught up on chasing, just trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is, once you quote unquote make it, it doesn't mean, oh, I made it, I don't got to do nothing. No, then you got to grind more. You got to, I don't know what they do. Okay, let's say I made it in podcasting. You know what I'm saying? Even though that's definitely not the goal, but let's say I became some for real celebrity podcaster. I got to deal with, I don't know, some network, whatever, and this became my full-time thing. It means that I need to put more into it. So it's like, okay, now that I don't have this full-time job, now what do I do? Do I need to start a Patreon? And you know what I'm saying? Add exclusive content. It's like, once you get wherever, that's not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? I kind of learned that with college. It was always, I can't wait till I graduate. I can't wait till I graduate. I can't wait till I graduate. And I remember when I finally graduated, literally saying, okay, now what? Because I already was working in the career field that I'm in. I just couldn't wait till I graduated. And then I graduated, and then it was like, you know, what? Now what? And so I'm at this place now where I'm trying to live more because I've always been so focused on goals or, you know, and then trauma and stuff like that too. But yeah, so I really like that they, in an animated way, pointed that out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think one thing it did not answer is because it gave us two different ways to look at it, which was never give up on your dreams,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, life is too short. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so sometimes he basically settled for I would say half of his passion, where he was actually able to teach music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that wasn't fulfilling because they also showed us how we're dealing with PTSD, and that can come from being raised a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't get the okay from his mom until late in the movie.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And she wasn't really for his dreams, and she had a reason.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But it just shows that, um, which we really don't, because I talk about it a lot, but in the film, it doesn't really teach you to balance.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because honestly, you have to be honest with yourself and say, yeah, I don't know if this mixtape is going to work, so maybe I should give up rapping. You know what I mean?
I mean,
and,
I
dep-
feel you. I feel you.
and
It's
depending on which age, depending on what age you are, it's kind of like maybe I should go towards producing, or maybe I should go towards marketing or something like that, where being an MC might not be your strongest suit.
mm-hmm.
I
You
don't
know what
think
I
it
mean?
was necessarily talking. I think it was more saying like, don't get too caught up in whatever you're chasing it. It's not saying don't chase it, whatever you
Right.
do find that spark in, but I think it's more saying like there's more aspects in life than just chasing, I don't know, like whatever
Well,
kind of, I don't know. I guess you
the
can call it
smaller things.
selfish type of thing that you're trying to search for, or whatever kind of spark it is. Just I don't know, just kind of not even maybe it's not even just selfish, but maybe like I said, you can get too caught up in the zone. I've even seen this with some people. They might seem happy, but it's like they're so caught up into their lifestyle, their business or whatever, they don't even realize like maybe some of the people they are hurting, that maybe somebody wants to get close to them or something. Maybe there's a family member that they can't talk to because of something, because there's so much in the zone. Or maybe
Right.
they're just not listening clear enough because there's so much in the zone. Maybe they want something that are, I don't know, just little stuff like that. Or maybe that, I don't know. I just feel like I feel like it hit a lot of good points though. I did
And
feel like it hit a lot of good points.
and from 22 point of view, she never received that kind of love. Period.
Mm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So that's my favorite part of the movie was when she actually sat down on the steps and started to look at all the simple stuff that was going around, like the leaves. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. She had the pizza. And it was just so many things, so many small things that she never got to um, get familiar with, or get, like in a way we're kind of privileged because someone does love us, someone that cares about us, you know what I mean? And never had that opportunity. But she also fought it though too, because she
And
didn't know.
that was the interesting thing
Hmm.
about her, is because she felt like she didn't have what it takes to live. Like that is
Right.
just like this movie had so much depth to it that I just didn't expect, because I didn't read any reviews. I might have seen a picture on social media, but I don't watch TV, so I don't be seeing commercials, none of that stuff. You know what I mean? But it was two things that were interesting about her is that, one, what she said is, you can't crush a soul here. That's what life on earth is for. And I was just like, damn, because I started thinking about how many people get like lost, the lost soul, feel like they have no purpose because of stuff. Maybe they didn't have the support from their mom. Like, I look at the relationship he had with his mom, where, like you said, she wasn't supporting him for whatever reasons that she had. And I'm not going to say like my mom hasn't supported stuff, because my mom speaks highly of me to people. She speaks highly of me to me. But when I think about the creative projects that I've had and how, and I was just telling one of my kids this, I feel like the type of support that I feel like I need, though, I don't get that from outside of Cedric. That's probably, and I'm not literally saying this because he's on here. I've said it before. He's one of my only family members that regularly listens to my show. If he doesn't listen to every episode, I notice he'll share it in his IG stories or interact with it when I post it on, you know what I'm saying, Instagram, or I'll get retweets. So, like, you don't have to listen, but acknowledge that you see what I'm doing, that obviously if it's important to me because I keep doing. So like that part with his mom, where like whether he should have been chasing it or not, that was his passion. That's what he was chasing after. And I started thinking about, because this is how I am with all movies. It could be about going poop and I'll make it some, deep meaning or whatever. But I started thinking about, my kids are not really Janae. She's still a minor, but even still, the things they say they want to do. Like Devon, I'm not surprised he's doing music now, because I remember when he was younger, he would pretend he was a YouTube person and like be sitting at the table making whole shows, and I would record it. You know what I'm saying? Or he's just always been about that. And I've always tried to just encourage my kids to chase after, like, what do you want to do? What are you passionate about? Because sometimes, yeah, we got to have a job we don't like, but if we're lucky or blessed or whatever, then we get to actually do what we enjoy doing, but get paid to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so that part, I thought it was interesting with him and his relationship with his mom. But then going back to 22, I just thought it was really interesting that it wasn't that she couldn't live. It was that she was scared to live. So she, like, this whole time, she thought she had to have like everything she needed. And this is so crazy, because this is stuff that I encourage my listeners with. Everything you need to fulfill your purpose or whatever it is, it's a lot of times it's already in you. Sometimes you might need training or whatever, but a lot of times the talent or whatever is already in you. You just got to have the confidence sometimes to just do it. So like for her, once she wanted to live, that's when she was ready. All this time she thought she had to, get a spark or get whatever. And she didn't even need all that. She just had to have the desire to want to do what she was supposed to do, which was live. That's crazy.
And a lot of people, just imagine how many people you've talked to in the past that sounded like her, though. You know what I mean? So, that's why I felt like it really put a lot of people on display.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I bumped into a lot of people with that same type of attitude, and sometimes like we're saying, sometimes they didn't experience that type of love. And then even people who do come from a solid background, they still have ways to go to get to to get in a position where they feel comfortable and confident, to where they could, doesn't matter what people think about them. Doesn't matter if if people criticize your craft or not. Like when you have that type of confidence in your content or your brand, nobody opinion, really matters or can tear you down. So
Mm-hmm.
even people that doesn't have a lost soul still got ways to go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because when you think about that as a content creator, and one thing I'm gonna say about Baylor that y'all may or may not know, but I don't even remember how we started interacting on Twitter, or everything is a blur with literally everybody at this point because it's just like, whatever. But one thing I really appreciate about Baylor, as someone who came into this podcast industry not knowing anyone, so I didn't come in here like, oh yeah, these is my podcast friends that told me to do this. Like I came in here not knowing anybody and just doing me and being how I am. Oh, let me retweet, let me do whatever. And a lot of why I do that is because of the lack of support that I've gotten from people with previous projects, as I've said on here before, blogs, poetry events, spoken word. Like I just have always had different ways to create. But the interesting thing about where I'm at now, that in a sense, I'm kind of like, sometimes it's good, I feel like, to go through the valley before you get to the mountaintop, or the test before you get to the testimony, or whatever you want to say. Sometimes it's good to have, like for me, it was good to have literally a decade, not like, and that's not an exaggeration, a decade of trying to do different creative things and not getting the support from the people that I know out. You know what I'm saying? Why that was good is because now when I get the praise and when I get whatever, like I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing podcasting, or like me having someone on my show, or even me going on somebody else's show. I don't have that mindset of, oh, well, this is good exposure, so I'm just going to do something that maybe I don't even really want to do because it's good exposure. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that mindset. I don't have a mindset of I do anything that I do because I'm trying to like, of course, I want y'all to listen, watch, whatever, of course. But what I realize is that the people who rock with me are going to literally, no matter what I do. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all might not have watch Power, but y'all still listen to the Power episodes just because you support me and you, I don't know, like hearing my perspective or whatever. And so it put me at this place now where now I'm getting stuff like, winning podcast awards, or got featured in this newsletter, which I guess I'll actually put the link in the episode notes if you want to check it out. This lady like reviews podcasts and all that stuff, but she featured me this week for the Black History Month or whatever. So when you have stuff like that, and I show it to my family just because it's cool, or some of my super close friends, and they're like, well, how did, not like how did that happen, but kind of like somebody asked me that, and I'm just like, networking, because a lot of it is just who you know. Like I might be the only Black podcaster that the people who tagged me in that tweet know. I mean, probably not, but you never know. Or I might be the only one that they interact with. And so all that doesn't matter to me though, because why I'm doing is because I need a creative outlet. This podcast, because I've been able to process my life, actually has helped me become a better person or grow or whatever, because I'm constantly in that mindset of how am I growing? Not because I'm trying to be fake, but I'm an external processor anyway. So if I sit on a show and I talk about my life, I'm going to, you know what I'm saying, figure it out. But I say all that to say, though, if I didn't have that decade of time where I wasn't getting the praise that I wanted back then, this might be different. I might let it get to me. And then when I don't get it, because people are fickle, numbers, there's ebbs and flows to podcast downloads. So one episode that you be surprised might have a whole bunch of downloads, and you like, oh shoot. and then the next week don't have all them downloads. You can't get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it is important to have support, but at the same time, I always encourage anybody who's doing anything to do it because you love it, because you could get lost in, like, you know what I'm saying, trying to gain people's approval. And so I love the part of that movie when he stood up to his mom. Oh, hi.
That was good.
Just my little cousin.
Hey,
You gonna say hi?
welcome to the. Hey, you gotta say hi to the people.
Oh,
Pop
good
in.
little man.
That's funny.
He like, nah.
He trying to get his shine.
Right. Hey, we'll put your stuff in the episode notes. All right. Nah, but I love the part when he stood up to his mom, though. I love the part when he was like, hey, this is what I want to do with my life. I'm willing to just go get my own, even though he wasn't trying to say that at first, because the cat, 22 kind of just said it, you know what I'm saying? Not realizing that he didn't mean say exactly what I say right now. But I love that part because it, like, parents, and this is what I have to remind myself, our way is not always what's best for our kids, because our kids have unique purpose, unique desires. They might be our kids, but they're their own people. And so I loved when he stood up to his mom. That was, I'm not gonna say that was my favorite part, but I felt that, not because I needed to do it with my mom or anything like that, but just because I think sometimes especially he was a grown ass man. So it's kind of like, all he asked you to do was sew some pants. I don't think he was asking you for money or any of that. Like, that's when you try to be like, hey man, you might want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. But yeah, it was crazy. So what was your favorite part of the movie? You kind of have said some stuff.
My favorite part. Go ahead, say you got it.
Oh no, I was just gonna touch back on what I said. Just like when he finally realized, when he laid down his little music notes, and he realized that 22 was really right. That it, that might have been his spark, something that he liked to do, loved to do, wanted to do, but that wasn't. You shouldn't. Yeah, that wasn't all of it was about. So that was my favorite part, when he actually finally had that epiphany moment, when he finally realized and actually came through. I thought that was a really good way of actually bringing that out too. Just throughout the day, just being able to pull the stuff out the pockets. I thought that was pretty cool. Just then he thought about the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to the part where she sat on the steps or whatever, because I often like go in my living room and reflect on the things that I've built thus far. You know what I mean? Instead of
talking about when 2020 was sitting on the steps. His body.
Yeah, sitting on the steps, and like I said, I go downstairs all the time, sit on the couch and just with the TV off and just look around and just look at the things that I built, realizing that it's just the smaller things in life that matter. You know what I mean?
You know, it's funny because when I told Janae, that's my youngest daughter, and I talked to one of my sisters, FaceTimed her, and somebody else, they all told me that they cried when they watched the movie and told me to prepare to cry. And I'm like, like, I don't cry. At least I thought I don't. Happiness. At least I thought I don't cry at movies like that. But man, when my favorite part was really, it was towards the end when, like, he had that revelation that, man, I've been chasing all the wrong things, after he sat down and played the piano and pulled the stuff out the pocket and all that good stuff, and realized that 22 was right, and then decided that he was willing to sacrifice his opportunity to get what he had been chasing after so that she could go live like she wanted to. So I love that, because when he made that decision, it was a very sacrificial decision. Like, he didn't know that the Jerrys we're gonna be like, oh, we thank you for basically finally getting her out of here. That's the way I took it. You know what I'm saying? And we thank you for that, and we're gonna, go ahead and give you a second chance. That was my favorite part, not him getting the second chance, but just the fact that he was willing to sacrifice himself for the betterment of someone else. That's the part where I didn't cry, because I don't really cry during movies like that, but it almost took me there. Like, I really felt you know how it feels when you're about to cry. Like, I was there, but then I was just like, nah. But I really felt some type of way after that movie. Just, I don't know. Yeah, it really made me I loved that part. You know what I'm saying? I too wish we could have saw who 22 became, or something. And I don't know. I mean, really, I don't know that they would, but they could segue that to a part 2, because they could build off of that. And it'd be crazy if they met, or we don't know what would happen. The world's so big. But yeah, that was my favorite part.
I like kind of the mystery about that.
Oh, you do?
I like it too, but I grew on the character so fast, and just seeing how much joy she finally got to experience. I wanted them to put a face to it. But I mean, everything can't be perfect. We're not gonna bring up the hater though.
I mean, even if they did bring up
we are gonna bring that hate. What was his name? Terry?
Oh, you talking about? Oh, yeah.
Man, this nigga.
He was funny, man. I actually thought he was a funny character.
Funny. And the way they had him creeping around on Earth, on signs, and in the what is that machine called that does the heart? They had him in that. I don't even know what it's called, but that machine that checks your heartbeat and the wave or whatever. He was in that. He was the biggest hater. But the thing about it is, it's not even that he was really being a hater, because he was doing his job. His job was, but I feel like the lesson, again, like I said, I'm a person that I probably would have pulled this lesson out. I don't think this is something they really specifically pointed out, but it was kind of more subliminally they did. But I feel like sometimes people get so caught up in, I don't want to say right and wrong, but I guess we could, because then that could go a whole different way. But we'll just say rules and the way things are supposed to be, that they don't care if that doesn't benefit. Some people are just so rigid that they're not flexible enough to understand that in that scenario, that didn't need to be you chasing people down, and you done traumatized old boy from the barbershop, killed him and then brought him back, and then you talking to him in the potato chips, talking about some don't tell nobody about this, and you shouldn't be eating this anyway. But you wasn't supposed to do all that. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't supposed to, you killed the wrong person, and then had to bring him back. And yeah,
the barbershop scene was funny, man. I loved it when he came up in there. He pulled his hat off. They was like, "Oh yeah, this is an emergency."
But I also like that. On the flip side of 22, I'm glad you brought that up. On the flip side of 22, realizing what she was missing out on Earth because of, what was his name? I don't even remember. What the main character? Joe, right? Yeah. It's gonna be Joe right now.
It's gonna be Joe.
It's gonna be Joe. If it ain't, hey, whatever. You heard I was struggling, so don't tweet at me. None of that, nah. But Joe, he the joy that not the joy, but she made him realize how caught up he was in chasing his dream, that he wasn't paying attention to the people around here. Kind of like you said earlier, Cedric, the barber, you learn so. Man, listen, when I go I got my hair done. Yep, y'all see it. Y'all see it if you watching. You see my hair is different, but I got my hair done yesterday, and I've stuck with the same hair person so much that I was telling her if I ever move out of town, I'm gonna fly back in to get my hair done with her because I trust her. But it's not even just that, we have rapport. Like, she knows when I get this specific style how I want it. You know what I'm saying? Which she was my Black Business Spotlight last week, so shout out to her. But anyways, there's that. So it's kind of like I couldn't imagine going to sit in the barber shop or going to get my nails done. That's another one that I stick with people because I could talk to you, maybe a little bit about my life depending on how long. Hell, my braider, she does my daughter's hair, and she's watched my daughters grow up from when we first started coming. That's what we were talking about yesterday. I couldn't imagine just sitting there and only talking about what I want to talk about and like how he was like all we talked about is jazz. So you don't even realize that this man was going to be something else, but now he's a barber because he chose, again, the sacrifice of self. He chose what was best for his daughter over what he wanted. And I feel like 22 helped Joe figure that out. So then it's like, I think it's also showed the importance of having community and having relationships. Like, we were not created to just do life alone. And some people, because of pain, because of whatever, they want to shut everybody out. That's kind of what 22 was doing. She was trying to shut out life because she was scared, and she kind of had raggedy mentors, it sounds like, too. But I think that one of the things that I saw Joe realize is that, like, relationships are just as important as chasing your dreams. You know what I'm saying?
That's for sure.
And this is what I love about the podcast community, is that there's a community. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying everybody's my best friend. I'm not saying none of that, but I'm saying the people that I have met that I talk to, either it might just be on Twitter, you know what I'm saying, or outside of Twitter. I like that, the networking aspect of podcasting too. Like, I'm trying to think if I would have kept podcasting if I hadn't met the community, because if I'm honest, the community is the people that let me know the most that they listen. Like, my braider, she listens, and we were talking about that and all that. So she's going to hear this, you know what I'm saying? But I forget that because she doesn't come at me or tweet at me or text me or, DM me like podcasters do. People don't retweet my stuff or whatever. So it's kind of like, community is important. You know what I'm saying? Community, relationships, doing life with people. That is what's important, even more so than chasing your dreams. Because if all this podcasting, blogging, and I'm working on some other stuff, if all this was to go away, it doesn't mean I'm suddenly nobody just because I don't have supporters and all that. I was somebody before that. And the most important thing to me is my kids and like the relationships with the people that I have, that I had before this. Although I love the people that I've met, you know what I'm saying, doing this, but it's got to be about people. You know what I'm saying? That's important.
Yeah,
I think she actually going back that quote that you said that the jazz lady said. I think that was one of the best quotes actually.
No, that was a bar.
Because it was such a good quote. I thought it was so deep, but then I thought about it again. I was like, it actually ain't even that deep.
What about do it again tomorrow?
No, the fish one. I thought the fish quote, the fish and wanting to be in the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, you're already in the ocean. He was like, no, I want the ocean. And then she just kind of left it off like that. And he kind of had a little puzzle face, like, what the hell you mean? And I thought the same thing. I was like, what the hell does she mean by that? But then I was like, oh, it makes a lot of, that makes a bunch of senses. People are always chasing after. I mean, you got everything you want right here.
It's funny because I I'm sure other industries, music or the music industry, acting, I'm sure they're like this too, but I'm not in those industries. So I see this a lot in the podcast industry where I see people come in eager to hurry up and get listeners, hurry up and get more followers, hurry up and get whatever. And it's kind of like that comes with time. You got to just keep going, keep going, keep going, and your people will find you, and they'll like your supporters that actually like what you have for content. Those are your supporters, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's easy to get caught up in, man, I'm not where I want to be, whatever that looks like right now, and be frustrated. But it's kind of like you've already made it, because if you're creating content every week, you made it, and you just got to keep going, and then you'll get more listeners, you'll get more followers, you'll get more whatever. But it can't be that's the reason why you're doing it. And that's, I think, where he was kind of messed up, because he was really already, I mean, I get it that, like you said, Baylor, he was kind of half not fulfilling his purpose, but half doing stuff by teaching music instead of being the jazz star that he wanted to be. But he really was a star in the eyes of a lot of people. That his old student who's grown now and got him the gig with the jazz player, he said, I wouldn't, you're the only reason I came to school. Like, can you imagine that? You know what I'm saying? The young lady that was gonna quit and then decided not to quit, and she was really, really good, and she got in that zone and all that stuff. Obviously, he's somebody important to her. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it's all about what are you chasing after?
And that's what it is. This is what separates that jazz player from podcasters, is that even though he was teaching music and wasn't, I wouldn't say it was, I don't think it was as fulfilling as him wanting to be a part of a band and travel and play, right? That's probably his ultimate goal. But the thing is, he had a goal. Some of these podcasters get in and they just hear about how dope it is to get feedback, how dope it is to record with other people that you've never met, and be seen on these platforms or heard on these platforms, but they don't have a goal. They don't have a goal. So when, like, what is your end goal? I'm not trying to get famous off of being a podcaster.
Right.
Because I don't even know if I'm ready for fame. Matter of fact, I know I'm not ready for it.
You know, that's a good point. And me and my friends were talking about that, just on a different subject, with just about giving people money. And if people are ready for money, like, or if they should or if you should give somebody money and that has a goal, like you said. And one person was saying, like, well, some people don't know maybe what their goal is until they start to maybe do that or get into that little field. You know what I mean? Somebody might not know that they wanted to be a podcaster, you know what I mean, until they did maybe about 4 or 5 episodes. Maybe they didn't even realize it until maybe the 20th or the 50th episode. You know what I mean? That that's what they really wanted to do.
I think, though, they have a goal, even if, like, I think what Baylor, I think what he's saying is kind of like, even if they didn't fully, they kind of knew they wanted to be a podcaster if they started a show, but people want to be a part of stuff that they don't even know what they're really trying to be a part of or why they're trying to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
But you had brought up, what was the main thing that you had brought up earlier was downloads, right?
Yeah.
So when he was discouraged because he didn't get the support from his mom to fulfill his dream. You know what I mean? So what's going to happen when you start a podcast and after, let's just say you have a booming pilot episode where it just take off, you know what I mean? You might know somebody that knows somebody and you get a semi-famous guest or just one of those raunchy topics that just take you off. But then episode 2, you don't have nobody and those downloads drop. Then what? Do you still have the same goal? because he still had the same goal. He just capitalized on the opportunity that was given to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he never. I would say maybe his goal was on pause, because as soon as he got the opportunity to play in front of or play with, he took off. He showed his ass. When you check your downloads and it go from 1,000 to 50, then what you gonna do? You gonna stop?
Mm-hmm. And that's what people have to think of. And see, that's what I'm saying. Why? Because my why is not I'm trying to, and there's nothing, hear me when I say this, because everybody has different reasons why they podcast. And I'm not here to knock anybody's reasons. It don't even got to be podcasting. I'm just talking about me. But it's kind of like, I didn't have 1,000 downloads the first time, but I had more downloads the first episode. And I think it's because people were trying to be not nosy, because that was mainly people I know. So that I didn't know any podcasters then. So when I started with the people I know and I'm like, hey, I'm starting this podcast, I don't think people know me and know I could be goofy and I could be whatever. But I think people thought it was going to be something that it wasn't. And then once they saw it wasn't whatever they thought it was going to be, or maybe they were just being nosy, or I don't know. I just know it took a while to reach that number again. And I kept going though, because it's kind of like this is how I met Dan on Drugs from A Few Screws Loose podcast.
Shout out to Dan.
Love that name.
Black Lies Legal. Man, I'm sorry if he got 2 podcasts though. And how I met him on Twitter is because somebody retweeted his tweet and he was like giving advice to new podcasters. And I was a brand new podcaster back then. And one of the things he said was, one, don't let the download. Actually, this is the only thing that I fully remember. So one thing he said was, don't let the downloads how did he say it? Basically, like, don't let the downloads determine what content you'll do. So you can't, like, okay, I know if I was to get on here and I'm talking about sex all the time and I'm telling all my business. I mean, I do tell my business, but you know what I mean?
The downloads going up.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit more whatever. I'm this, that, and the other. Yeah, more people would listen for sure, because some of my favorite podcasts are because they talk about stuff I don't talk about, and I want to hear that. But I can't just do something just to do it. I don't do that outside of podcasting. Like, if I don't want to do it, and Cedric knows, I'm not going to do it unless I feel like there's a reason. Either I have to do it, literally have to, but if I have a choice and I don't want to do something, I'm not doing it. And I'm going to tell you I'm not doing it, and you're not going to convince me or change my mind, because once I said it, and that's what it is. Am I lying, Cedric?
Hey, well, look, just a cool part about it.
She ain't lying.
Just a cool part about
it. I know you'll tell me if I'm lying. That's why I asked.
Eventually, we gonna find out the truth
about what.
if you were lying, because people that put on a persona.
Oh yeah.
It don't last long. Like, you doing double the work now.
It's like cologne, man. It don't last long.
Yeah.
Bars. And on hear this too. I'm not saying, because like for me, people who first, like I remember Jay, Autumn specifically, and then Kyle from 12 Kyle Podcast recently said this, because my show is about my life and I'm a very reflective person and this, that, and the other. And that is how I am. Like, I'm not being fake, but I'm a very complex person. So people will listen to my show, especially my early, like day one listeners that have been with me for a while. Like, if you wasn't with me when all I had was the purple teal background, no picture, you ain't day one. And Jay, shout out to Jay again. Always shout out to Jay, Autumn, Chris, Audrey. But she said that because y'all know my logo is new and I posted all 4 of them because I need people to understand that like he brought together what I've been going for and I didn't even tell him to, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, and I've been listening since the first logo. But the thing about it back then is it always takes me a little while to get comfortable in environments and just kind of, it's not like I'm being fake. I'm just not comfortable. So I'm more reserved. That's probably a better way to put it. And it's not like I do it on purpose. It's literally just I have to get comfortable.
Right.
So then it took me a minute to get comfortable. And I remember when I think it was Spence after an episode, he kind of pointed out when he felt like he could tell I was getting more comfortable or opening up more. That's what he said. And so now the show is starting to look different because I'm more comfortable and I'm more whatever. But that doesn't mean I was being fake before. So that's one thing where, okay, maybe the show, you thought I was more serious. I was never just a serious person, like ever. People who know me outside of this thought I was about to do some comedy show because I love to laugh. And I'm like, no, that's not what my podcast is about to be about. But that's one thing. But it's a completely different thing when you're just trying to be somebody you're not. And man, I done seen it on the timeline where people get called out on their lies or called out on their BS or exposed or whatever. And it'd be hella entertaining. But it's kind of like, if you was just being yourself, like the real you is always going to shine through, like always, always in some kind of way, you going to get caught slipping. And what people know who have people who interact with me outside of like me doing an episode and group chats and whatever, y'all get the realest version of me. And man, Cedric, like, that's my little brother. So, of course, he gets the realest version of me because I'm a clown or I have a wild sense of humor, but I'm also not, like, trying to put every and anything out on the internet forever and ever because this is a part of my legacy. So I am very intentional about what I, like, people's shows that I'll be on or who I have on my show is always based on a couple of factors. It's always based on what I know about you and how I feel like the rapport that we already have. If I'm trying to have like multiple guests that are like y'all two, y'all didn't even know each other before this, but I knew based on what I know of Cedric and what I know of Baylor, I'm like, okay, this is the vibe. Like I'm always trying to create vibes for specific things. That's just how I am at home. My living room has one vibe. My bedroom has another vibe. My bathroom has a different vibe. It's all about that. And so it's based off what I want to talk about, who I want to talk about it with. And it's also based off of, I'm all about what is my legacy going to be behind? Because when I'm gone, my kids are very blessed that I have however many episodes of audio and then some is visual too. So they could see me when I go. Like, this is what I'm thinking about now. You know what I'm saying? Everything is about what is going to be behind when I'm gone. So I don't want a bunch of ratchetness out there when I'm gone. Like, I have enough of that, I guess, in real life, if you want to, not really ratchet, but I don't know. But yeah, the real you is always going to shine through. So that's for sure. Somebody going to bust you out. Somebody going to leak screenshots that you thought was your homie or whatever. And I've literally seen it on the timeline. People will DM me tweets of somebody getting exposed that for whatever that we know
expose people.
Mutuals, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it is in this day and age. And so it's kind of like
cancel
you
culture.
gotta be, yeah, for sure.
This is the thing. Everybody has issues.
Yeah.
So even if I don't know your issues personally,
Mm-hmm.
I know something wrong with you.
Okay?
Right. Some of the smartest guys, some of the dumbest guys, and some of the toughest guys are all in one place.
Mm-hmm.
That's in and out of prison. So we're all the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't, outside of the people, even people who are wealthy and well off, they got issues too.
Mm-hmm.
They got some demons to deal with. So
Oh yeah.
you not fooling me. I fall into the trap from time to time. I record, I take pictures and stuff on my vacation and stuff like that. Guess what? I still got to go to work and support my family. I
Right.
still got to wake up at 2:00 a.m. and meet this deadline to put my podcast out on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You know what I mean? I still have car problems. I still got to work overtime. You know
Boy,
what I
car
mean?
problems.
You know what I mean? So, like, bro, I know when cats try to be tough guys or part-time celebrities, I was like, all right, do your thing, man. Eventually, it's gonna wear off.
And I guess I'll say this too, because I joke a lot about, you know, being a celebrity podcaster. And mainly I joke about it with my little crew, especially when we do our podcast happy hour episodes. But at the end of the day, like for real, even if I was to become a celebrity, me, it wouldn't like it wouldn't change anything about me. If anything, it would have me like, y'all really, I say this on here so y'all know I'm not lying. I'd be like, I can't believe y'all really tune in every week and listen to me talk about my life. Like Baylor is a podcaster that before we started interacting on Twitter and now, you know, maybe talk offline or do shows or whatever, way before that, he was a podcaster that I listened to, that I enjoyed his show because he talks about his life. And I like people that are transparent about whatever, because it's the same reason I'm transparent, because like Baylor said, we all got struggles, we all got issues. And with my faith background, where I hate, and I'm going to use the word hate, even though I don't like to say that word, but I hate when people forget where they come from. I'm talking about Christians, to where they try to make it seem like now that you have this relationship with God, you done forgot where you came from, or the stuff you still were struggling with last night or this morning or this afternoon or whatever. Like, we still got issues. Man, I done been through, and I done been through a lot of stuff. I done been through a lot of stuff since starting this podcast that I talk about on here. It's a lot going on in my life right now. So it's kind of like you were just saying, I could post a picture because I got my hair done. You know what I'm saying? I could post, ooh, I'm working out or whatever, or that's about it, because I don't be posting too much stuff too crazy. Or I could post a workout progress pic. I noticed with that, people keep, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? The same thing I've been doing, I just keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like people forget about the grind. The grind don't stop. Like,
This is key.
I'm working full-time job. I am a single parent. I host a podcast as a solo podcaster, which is a whole bunch of work. I ain't next level out here with a production team where I could just be on some boss stuff like Baylor and send my episode off
Wait.
to get edited and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I ain't on that level, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. The grind don't stop. But kind of like what we said, what is your focus? Because like for me, I wouldn't do this the way, man, some of the technology issues I've even had recently, y'all almost didn't get a YouTube video last week just because that's how dumb technology was. And I was like, they just gonna get this audio if this next little trick don't work. And obviously it worked because y'all got the video, but it'd be so many behind the scenes stuff, editing stuff that y'all don't realize. Like, it's a lot of work to do all this. So I wouldn't do all this if I was chasing anything other than, this is a therapeutic creative outlet for me. Like, this is for me, not, but y'all get blessed. And then I try to do little special stuff and, you know, live shows and all this stuff. But it's kind of like, I don't do that because of any reason other than I've always been a person, even with the live shows, where I like to have get-togethers or I like to have whatever, So now I could just have stuff with a whole bunch of people all over the world. You know what I'm saying? And man, if I get into Zoom or whatever where y'all could actually, like, we talk back and forth, I'm not saying I'm doing that, but I'm just saying that's just another way of me. I like people. Like, if you've paid attention, I'm in social work. That's people focused. I have done youth ministry or different types of ministry for the past 15 years. That's people focused. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just love people. And that's even why my show is the way it is, because you see so many broken people thinking they're alone in their struggle. That's the biggest lie. You see so many people thinking that just because you see me, man, I got featured in a newsletter for a podcast. I already said that. But then also there's a lot of stuff going on like in my personal life that's kind of like all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the stuff y'all see, the social media highlights that people want to put out there. There's very few people that actually put out their struggles, which is why I do. You know what I'm saying? But even with that, I don't tell y'all all my business. You know what I'm saying? Even with that, I tell y'all what I'm comfortable with sharing. You know what I'm saying? So always keep that in mind with these celebrities and or these podcasters that maybe you feel like they're more popular than you or they have more followers than you. Man, let me tell y'all this. I want to say like 35 or 33 or something 100 followers on Twitter, but I promise you I ain't never had a episode touch 3,500 downloads. I ain't never had an episode touch 1,000. I ain't never had an episode touch more than like a little bit over 100 downloads. And I tell you that no shame. I don't care, because the however many of y'all that are consistently there, I appreciate y'all. The people that come in and out and all the ebbs and flows, thanks for the downloads, but it's kind of like followers don't mean downloads. Everything is not always what it seems, but why are you doing it? I'm not doing it for that. So for me, I have success. I'm a successful podcaster, as I've said, just because it's over a year of me doing a creative project and then building upon it and adding different facets to the show. The show used to be just a diary. Now it's like, ooh, let's talk about power. Ooh, let's do movie reviews. Ooh, the karaoke concert. Ooh, like other ways I want to entertain. So for me, that's success because I'm still going. But tying it back to the movie, Joe was successful even before he got, to play with the jazz player. He was already successful. He just didn't see it, and he had to see it. And then once he saw it, I love that they were like, "What are you gonna do?" And you could tell he was gonna try to be on something different because he was like, "I'm gonna just enjoy every moment" or something he said, because he wasn't doing that before. And that's where you got to be careful, because you can get so caught up in the destination that you don't see the beauty that's on the journey to get there. And then you can't skip the journey. You can't skip the preparation period, because sometimes we be in such a rush to hurry up and get somewhere. I'll use something outside of creating. Let's talk about weight loss. If you lose weight way too quickly, you're going to have saggy skin. You're going to have to get surgery to get that skin together, unless you just going to have that skin saggy, which I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always good to be in a rush. If you work, if you watch what you eat, if you whatever, I'm having success that's sustainable, but then I'm paying attention to like, okay, now my arm is smaller, but is there saggy skin? You know what I'm saying? Like my stomach is smaller, but what is going on? Because all that stuff matters. But if I was in such a rush that I don't know, starving myself to lose weight or, something just extreme, nah, you can't. The journey prepares you for the destination, so you can't skip that part either, even with success, because you might not be ready. Like I guess I'll say being more known now as a year plus into podcasting than I was a year ago. I can handle it now. A year plus ago, I wouldn't have been ready to just come in the podcast world and have all these followers, because networking it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be needing to have my time to myself and like turn off, put my phone down or, stuff like that. And it's kind of like where I am now with it though. Cool. A year plus ago, I wouldn't have been ready for where I'm at right now. So I know I wouldn't have been ready for if I become a celebrity or, you know what I'm saying, something like that, because sometimes notifications be too much now. And it don't even be whatever celebrities be having. Like, I couldn't even imagine. I just couldn't. Yeah. Man, all in all, it was a dope movie. Dope. Shout out to Jay for sure. Show. But no, shout out to Jay for real, because I didn't really know what to expect coming into this movie, but it exceeded my expectations. I got more from it than I thought it would. Every movie we review might not be that, have that much depth. Like, I kind of wish. Oh, we'll talk about that offline. But anyways, yeah, every movie might not be this, whatever. But like I said a little earlier in the show, if you have a movie you want to hear us review, you want to hear our perspective, you kind of see how we are. We don't just, I don't know, we just do what we do, and this is how we do it. So if you want to hear that about a specific movie, tweet at me, email me, DM me, whatever. Like I said, I'll get a poll going, and then if you win, of course, I'll give you a shout out for us doing whatever. But I guess unless y'all have any other thoughts, we can go ahead and wrap it up, and y'all could again tell the people where to find you and all that good stuff.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I give it a solid. I say I give it like a solid A, maybe an A minus. Again, but that's just me being selfish. I still to this day want to see what 22 look like. You know what I mean? But outside of that, like I said, like we all said, it was a great message. I hope a lot of people, for the people that did see themselves in this film, try to find a way to correct it, I guess, or feel like there's hope, continue to go after their goals.
Yeah.
And that's it. Dope film.
Yeah.
Before you go, Cedric, I got to ask y'all a question, because I just thought about something I heard somewhere. I don't even know where I heard it. But as two black men, because something I heard is that some people were salty that basically the cartoon showed a white woman, a middle-aged white woman, as they said that she was or sounded like or whatever, taking over the body of
I ain't got time for that.
black man.
I ain't got time for that.
I just wanted to see y'all thoughts, because
I didn't even think about that.
see, and I heard that before I watched the movie, and I don't remember where I heard, and I don't even know if they were saying it. They might have been reading what they heard somebody else say. But then when I watched the movie, I was like, that's not even what the point of the movie was. Like,
22 is a white lady?
well, she sounded like a middle-aged. I mean, we know it was Tina Fey, so hey, that wasn't my opinion. That's what the streets was saying or something.
I don't even be in the streets like that no more. So. I ain't got time to be dealing with Twitter. No.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Because if it was the other way around, they would have been like, "Well, why did it?" Oh, man.
Yeah. I feel like if you're looking for offense, you're gonna find it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it ain't even about what you're looking for. It's you got to deal with your own stuff. That's why I always say process your issues, because people be so easily offended that it don't even be that.
Said and Tam, I review scary movies every Sunday night. I watch a scary movie, black horror humor with my boy Mr. D713 Dre and Leah. Take Up Space podcast.
Shout out to them.
That's how.
And Drake is from Everything Culture because he didn't say that.
Yeah, everything culture. But we review scary movies, and even I can find some goodness in a scary movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horror flick. People are dying. You know what I mean? but even I can give. You know what? She probably needed to die. You know what I mean? So it's like, I ain't got time for that. They always trying to turn so, especially a film like this because it was big and it came out on a special day. No, man, just leave it alone. It was a good film. Why do we got to turn everything
into race?
Yeah, I get it. 2020 was a mug, but God, dog it.
But but the thing about it though is that's not even what that was. Like, it wasn't like they purposely were like, no, you're gonna. First of all, it was a soul. It wasn't even really a white woman. I thought it was funny that she said the voice annoys people, so she does it on purpose. I thought that was just a funny little petty thing. But it wasn't to have her take over him. That was actually a mistake having that happen. Like, the point was to get Joe back to his body, like his soul back to his body, so he could go do what he needed to do. So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to see if y'all, because that just popped in my head. But clearly y'all ain't on that, so you know. All right.
I was just happy to see some black animation film. They look good. They look good.
I've seen that song.
A lot of black folks too. Like,
yeah, they look good. I was happy about that.
Yeah. All right. So, where can they find you?
No,
Cedric?
I thought. Oh yeah. They can find me at all my Twitter accounts. My Cedric CLW51. My Instagram, my photo Instagram is says photography. Yeah, as of right now, still working on myself, still working on some other things. That's more things about like investing, trading, things of that nature, real estate. But I've started a podcast for that.
Hey, I've learned a lot about and it's so funny because their shows are so hilarious and foolish, but I learned a lot about finances from Forget That Yo podcast and from Nuts and Guts podcast. Just about stocks and different stuff. But then it's like, yeah, their shows are hilarious.
Yeah. Creative Bully, he definitely be on his he trying to become a billionaire within like 30 days.
He be on the way he be talking because
he'll tell you. I'll call him first. I'll call him first for anything that I need to know when it's referring to like or my boy Greg, like they be on it. You know what I mean? The only thing that they don't really be on is hooping. Them niggas is trash in that. So let me just get this. You know what I mean? So I know you got to the party late, Tam. I know you got to the party late, but don't read everything on the internet. Don't believe everything on the internet.
First of all, don't say it like that. Like I just be believing any and everything. I don't like how you said that.
I'm just saying the way.
But I didn't see it I heard it on shows. Like I've heard multiple shows. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
and really, go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. What you've been hearing has been some lies. I'm just here to tell you the truth. I think the only person, shout out to D Murphy, just text me. I'm gonna call him in a minute. He might give me some challenges. Everybody else in the podcast community, listen to me closely. I will dog your life. Don't play around with me. I'm not your friend.
Ooh.
And I definitely won't be your friend on the court. So Creative Bully, just stay with them stocks.
Stay with them stocks.
Stay with that. In the likeness of your podcast, forget that, yo. Forget it.
Why are
like
you?
that. I like
petty?
that.
Why are you?
that was
Because I wasn't even gonna go there. That's so funny. That's so funny.
I like that. That was nice.
So, y'all, Baylor. I'm still going, but see, here's the thing with that. I like to start drama, like not real drama, obviously, but I like to start stuff.
It's
so
already there. It ain't
I
going
don't,
nowhere.
yeah, like I don't really care who could whoop who. All I know is what they said, and I ain't seen otherwise. So that's all I know. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there needs to be a challenge the people want to see.
Yeah, we might have to put that up on YouTube or something.
I've actually met I've met Murph in person. I've met Creative Bully in person. I will punish that little boy.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, we gonna see, maybe, or I don't know, maybe we ain't gonna see, but you know,
one day, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's funny. All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Get y'all some merch. I got a sale going on with free shipping still through the end of February. So promo code TamTam12 for free shipping. There's a bunch of different designs, some new stuff, and then just go to my website because there's actually 2 different sites or whatever, but it's all on my website. If you want to support the Tam special, yes, I've been sipping. I just didn't really mention it, but if you want to support this Tam special, you can buy me a coffee. The link to that is on my episode notes. Well, it's on my website, which is in my episode notes. Or if you want to just send me some PayPal, if you want to be a monthly subscriber, you know what I'm saying? That's on there too. I'm not saying you have to, but I don't know who's listening. You might feel rich and you might feel like you want to bless me. Trust me, it'll go to great use because I am a single parent. So, you know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. Again, if you have a specific movie you want us to review, let me know. Make sure you're out here taking care of your mental, emotional, physical, spiritual health. One thing I will say about just sitting down and watching a movie, I don't do that often. And even though technically I did it because we were reviewing it, it reminded me, like I went to Anisha, that's me and Cedric's youngest sister, or technically whatever. That's our little sister. And I went to her house. I know that was a weird whatever, but I went to her apartment recently and we played her Nintendo Switch, and I forgot how much I like to play video games. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you get so caught up in life or the struggle or whatever that you forget the simple things that bring you joy. So make sure you're out here doing good stuff for yourself, like self-care, all that good stuff. Make sure you take care of that. And again, we will see y'all soon. Until we hear y'all again. I mean, until you hear me again, whatever. Okay. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for...